So guys, today was very, let's say, practical for everybody.
So today we dive directly into what I studied in school, something like that. I studied English and literature, and it was a debate. And I happened to be the group leader of Group B, and we're the ones opposing the motion. And I actually wanted to do something that wasn't expected of me, because I know my guy UK was expecting me to come and follow him and drag. I disappointed him, Sha. I gave him one Igbo man that is going to show him how they handle money and all that. So I gave him Kizo. I am so proud of Kizo. Kizo just, as in, he dealt with UK for me, yeah. So UK, sorry, we'll have to do this some other time, bro.
All right. Good morning, my audience, the moderator, accurate timekeeper, and one house. I am UK F-Young, and I'm here to support the motion that small and medium scale and startups should have access to interest-free loans. Now, what are small and medium scale enterprises? They are businesses that exist independently and have at least 300 workers or employees. Now, what are interest? Interests are the money, this money that are deducted from the capital gotten for business enterprises. Now, SMEs consist of the majority of employment in the world. Now, 600,000 people are employed via SME. Now, in a country like Nigeria, SME produces $600 million annually. Produce $600 million annually. They create employment for citizens, and out of every 10 citizens, 7 are working as small and medium scale enterprise. Now, the major issues facing small and medium scale enterprise is financing. Financing has been a problem for many businesses. Here we say small and medium scale enterprise fail. This is because they don't get adequate financing, and when they do get this financing, there's so much pressure on an entrepreneur to deliver when they get loans. Now, loaning is not even supposed to be a topic for deliberation, because 98% of entrepreneurs get loan from their individual pockets, from friends and families, and not the government or any financial institution. Now, it's not even supposed to be a topic, because even when they get these loans, the interest rate is skyrocketing, and it puts them in a position where they cannot deliver. Yeah, pressure is very important for business, but then when the pressures amount, like in a country like Nigeria, post COVID-19, the pressure had risen such that the raw material, getting the raw material has been very difficult. The exchange rate is very high, transportation is very high. All those are put into account, and they amount to the pressure that will make an entrepreneur fail even when he gets a loan from the bank. So even when we put ourselves in the shoe of an entrepreneur, we understand that it's not going to be very easy to pay back the loan plus the interest and other fees, orientation fees, documentation fees, and other fees that are there that this financial institution and the government charge from entrepreneurs. Now put yourself in the shoes of an entrepreneur. He's going to bring the idea, he's going to pay tax, he's going to pay the employees, he's going to work, he's going to put in the labor, he's going to do transportation, logistics, and every other thing is going to be put into account. Now, if an entrepreneur is going to go and get a loan, especially when the business and the economy of almost all the nations in the world crumbled due to the COVID-19, now it is very, very important that the government do its part, like even the World Bank did. One of the reasons why the economy of the world is coming back to life is because of the intervention, the loan intervention that the World Bank gave to almost all the countries in the world. Now, if Nigeria wants to alleviate poverty, one of the mediums is small and medium scale enterprise, and they can come in through that avenue and give loans without much interest, without interest at all, at least for a period of time, for the nation like Nigeria to recover from all the debts and all the financial troubles that they have gotten into. Now, if Nigeria comes in as a country, not just from the financial banks, not from the commercial banks, but as a country come out and say this is a period where we can grow financially and grow our SME financially and pull in massive fundings to small and medium scale enterprise and startup business, there will be a massive growth. There will be massive growth, and Nigeria will be able to come out of depression and all the social vices that have been facing us. The crimes that we've been facing is because these people are not getting adequate funding. Business will not fail if we get adequate funding. Thank you. I hope with these few points of mine, I'll be able to convince you that we should get an entrepreneur like us to get an opportunity to get loans without interest.
Good day, Mr. Moderator, panel of judges, accurate timekeeper, the audience, and one house. My name is Kizu, and I'm here to oppose the motion that startup loans to SMEs should be given without interest. Before I proceed, it is important for us to note that business loans is a powerful tool for startups to fund, grow, and sustain their businesses. And I'm also countering the point made by my opponent that this interest on loans are skyrocketing every day, because most of these business loans come with as low interest rate as 2.5% per annum. So it is never a problem. These loans should be given with interest. Now, the following point of mine buttresses the fact that these loans should come with interest. First of all, business loans with interest makes it easy for business startups and SMEs to access loans, because most lenders out there are lots of lenders out there and microfinance institutions who are willing to give out funds to business starters and business owners, having in mind that these funds, the repayment of these funds, comes back with interest rates attached to them. This makes it very much easy for starters to access these funds at will. Secondly, having loans with interest attached to them gives the startup business owners or business starters the confidence to be in charge of the business operations, the day-to-day business runnings and everything, having in mind that they have accessed a loan that comes with interest attached to it. It makes them have the confidence to take the full business decision, also having in mind, without having interference from investors and microfinance institutions. So, thirdly, business loans that comes with interest makes it possible for business starters and owners to access funds, access significant amounts of money that can be used to diversify into businesses that will generate more funds for them. We all know that most business starters have business ideas that could generate more funds for them, not just one, not two, not three. So having in mind that they can access loans that comes with interest helps them to diversify into more businesses and generate more funds for themselves. Also, let's not forget the fact that microfinance institutions or financial institutions rather and lenders out there run some of their businesses with other persons. They don't run it alone. So interest on loans as means of generating income is helps to create job employment. Because when I give out a loan, if I'm a money lender and I give out a loan to people, business starters, in case the loan goes bad, I'm not the one that goes for recovery. I have a recovery team. I also have other team that helps in running the day-to-day activities of the business. So it helps to create job for lenders and institutions. Thirdly, business loans that comes with interest helps borrowers to gain what we call interest rebate. This comes from a scheme of federal government that is responsible for giving back, paying back to borrowers the interest, some or even part of the interest element that they pay whenever they access funds. So if the loans comes without interest, definitely borrowers will not be able to have access to this interest rebate. Another point of mine is that giving loans with interest helps to create more commitment on the part of the business owners. When you collect money and you know that this money comes with interest, it makes you on your toes. It keeps business starters on their toes, and it makes them to work hard to make sure that they make profit from their business and repay back these loans. Thank you.
I was part of the speakers. We had our head speaker, UK, myself, Melody, and we had Evergreen on board too. So we did a very good job. I was expecting a lot of gas boosts from here and there, but they were no match for us. We came out, we did our thing, we were fine. It was an awesome experience. Hello everyone, standing on all existing protocol, I'm also here to support the motion that SMEs and small businesses should have access to zero interest rates when it comes to loans. But my first point would be pricing when it comes to production. As a small business and as an SME, you want to produce your products and services with also gaining the full profits and meanwhile reducing costs when it comes to production. As producing is involved, when it comes to selling the products in the market, you want customers to pay as less as they can and buy as more as they can. But meanwhile, if you're paying interest on loans, you factor in the interest into this cost of production, making customers to pay more, and then customers tend to buy less of your products and services, and that reduces the standard of living as an individual in the system. And as countries as Nigeria, people want to have a higher standard of living. So when you're paying zero interest in loans, you know that you're reducing the cost of production, and customers that you want to return will be buying more. Let's remember the law of demand and supply. The more a customer can afford, the more he will buy if the price is less. Let's remember that. And also my second point would be the pressure faced by these SMEs and small businesses. When an individual that owns a business has a loan in the bank and has borrowed money, he has a lot of pressure to deal with financially. Let's remember that these interest rates are ridiculous. They go from as low as 9% to as high as 50% annually. That is crazy. You can't sleep at night if you're a business owner. You know that you're owing the bank. This keeps you on your toes, and that is a serious thing to deal with as a business owner. Meanwhile, let's remember that 98% of businesses fail in the first 5 years, and one of the reasons is because of this pressure put on them by financial institutions. But if it's 0% interest rates on them, they can afford to last longer in the market and then create more job opportunities because they don't have to pay any interest. The profits they're supposed to pay to the bank as interest goes into expanding the business, and a lot is being achieved with these funds. I hope with these few points of mine, I'll be able to convince you and not confuse you that startups and small businesses should have access to zero interest rates when it comes to loans. Thank you.
Still standing on the existing protocol, I am Diara. I am opposing that small businesses and startup businesses should be given loans with interest. Before I begin, I recall Speaker One from the proposing side saying that the government, the United States government, gave out money to citizens to sort out their financial problems during the COVID-19. Now, let me correct you. Loans are no money that are given without returns. Loans are money that are being given back to you expected to return this money. Now, interest rate is important to ensure the accountability of the business owner. Now, there is no business. A business cannot function without accountability. One of the reasons why Nigeria is suffering from poverty is because we are not accountable. People are not being held accountable for the money that they are being issued. Now, let's say Mr. A goes to the bank to get 500,000 naira. And according to his business plan, he knows that he can comfortably pay 500,000 naira with the interest rates. But on getting to the bank, he discovers that they're giving out loans for free, zero interest rate. He can decide to collect 2 million naira, which in his mind, he knows he cannot afford to pay 2 million naira. And that is a risk on the institution that is giving out the loan, which makes him unserious to even pay back the money. Now, interest rate helps to control crowd. In an institution, if there is no interest rate, anybody can walk up to the bank to collect loan. It means All of us can go to the bank to collect loan. Mr. A can go, even without having a business plan, even without having a budget for his business, he can walk up to the bank to collect loan. And that is not good for an institution, just as it is not good for the business owner. Now, moving to my last point, interest rate helps the business owner to be accountable, just as it helps him to be committed. He would know that he needs to pay back this money, and not just the money. He needs to pay it with interest, and it will make him accountable. Moving forward, it makes up for the inconvenience of the institution that is giving out the loan. So for me to give out a loan, I am going through some sort of inconvenience. If I'm giving you a loan, ma, please, if I'm giving you a loan, I'm going through some inconvenience. I'm giving you 100,000. I have what I want to use 100,000 to do. But because what you have to do with 100,000 is more important, I decide to relinquish it to you. It means that I'm going through some inconvenience, and the interest rate serves as a condolence for my inconvenience. Thank you.
Just as they call it, debate. Whether you dey talk the truth, you not talk the truth. Just try and make you bring points. That's what we're after. Now, supporting my chief speaker, interest-free loan. Now, I had my opponent say something about accountability. When you're talking about accountability, someone actually collected the loan, good and fine. Accountability on interest, why? You already collected the loan. So you should be accountable to that loan, not the interest. Hello? So when you're making the statement, please, always try to understand the statement you're making. Now, my first point here, he said, interest-free loan encourages startups and SMEs. How does it encourage them? It encourages them in the sense that it actually helps them execute a proper business plan. Imagine I, as a startup, I went to collect a loan, and after collecting the loan, the only thing that is in my head is, how do I make up for the interest? But in a situation whereby there is no interest attached to it, I will be so relaxed and free and mapping out my plan for day to day of running my business. That's number one. Number two, when there is no interest when you collect a loan and there is no interest, it actually helps you, gives you this opportunity. One, you produce more. Not just producing more, because for you to produce more, you need to employ more. And when you're employing, who do you employ? You go out there and employ unemployed youths. Because with this whole interest of a thing, with this loan, you get a loan, there's interest, you need interest to pay back and every other thing. Let me tell you the simple truth. You won't be able to employ. It's as simple as ABC. But when there is no interest attached to it, it will help you to employ more, and it will also help you to produce more. Thank you. I believe with this few points of mine, I've been able to convince my opponents that interest-free loan is just the best thing for startup and SMEs. Thank you very much.
Standing on the existing protocol, my name is Timmy Tokwe. I'm here to oppose the motion that says that startups or SMEs should access loan without interest. Don't forget this, the only book actually says, and pointed out in one place, where the master gave out money to his servant. Three of his servants gave one 5, gave the other one 2, and gave the third one 1. When he came back, and the first one was giving account of what he did with the 5 coins, he did what? He gave another 5 on that 5 he was given. The one that collected 2 also gave what? 2, which making interest on the 2 he collected. But remember what he said to the one that buried the coin that was given to him. He said, you this bad servant, you should have even put my money in the bank and make interest, and let me even rejoice when I come back with my interest on the one I've given to you. Don't forget, the first speaker on my right hand side said, when you collect a loan with interest, it puts pressure on you. No man goes to a loan shark to collect a loan without having a plan in his head to bring back the money even before the stipulated time. It doesn't put pressure on you, this commitment to you, to be able to know that yes, I'm working for the money I'm collecting, I'm bringing it back even before the time elapsed. That's the way it works, not pressure. Only a man without plan goes to a loan shark to collect money and feel pressured. Look at my example. When I was serving as a core member, there was this loan, core members are dead. I went for the loan. I knew that there's interest on this loan, but I need to pay back before the time elapsed. I was able to work, bring back the money even before that time elapsed, and I was able to get it because they told me that when you go collect the money, bring it back before the time, you even have more advantage over the people that pay after the time has elapsed. And see, one thing is that commitment is very right. Nobody goes to work without commitment. No pressure in this. Like, there's no pressure in this at all. And continuing on this, please. He said, people with plans. Nobody goes without the business without plans. You must make your plans. There's no. Okay, we know that we have a lot of people that have business ideas in their head, but needs finance to do what, to finance their business ideas. That's why most people go to business loan sharks to get business from them. And no matter what, when you're getting a loan from someone, you have your business plan that is solid. Because a lot of loan sharks even ask for your business plans to know what you want to do with their money. They're not selfish or only on their interest. They want you to succeed, and that's why they do what they give you loans to be able to propel you into success. I know with this few point of mine, I'm very convinced I will convince you that this is actually right. Thank you.
Okay, standing on the existing protocol, my name is Evergreen, and I'm here to support the motion that states that free loans should be given to small-scale business owners and startups. Okay, I'll start by, I want to clear the air here right now. I heard one of the speakers say something about crowd control when it comes to loan. For me, that is a very lame excuse, because how do you control crowd? You control crowd by discouraging business owners from taking loans to help themselves. Is that how you control crowd? For me to want to come and take loans, there should be a motivation, there should be a drive that whether or not there is interest, I should be able to make use of that money. And I also heard the other speaker saying something about the parable that comes from the Bible. Hello, that is also very lame because it has nothing to do with interest. It has something to do with the profit that came from the money that was given to them. It has nothing to do with the interest, okay? My point is coming from the COVID-19 pandemic that happened. A lot of people lost their jobs. A lot of business activity was stopped. A lot of business owners even used their capital to take care of themselves, to take care of their families. So giving them loans with credit will really stress them at this period right now. I am of the opinion that they should be given loans without credit, at least as a means of relief, to help them to be able to start up their lives and also build their businesses. Also, giving out free credit loans to business owners will help increase production. And whenever there is increase in production, there is also increase in business activities, increase in job, and also there is money generated for innovation and other aspects. With these few points of mine, I believe I've been able to convince you that indeed it is good to give free credit loans to small-scale business owners and startups. Thank you.
All protocols duly observed. My name is Ekau St. Paul, and today I would like to oppose the motion that says giving loan with interest to a startup and an SME. Just like my speakers have said, the inability to give fund to a startup is the most and biggest challenge that most entrepreneurs face in Nigeria and all over the world. So if an organization or a person is finding solution to giving you a loan to start up your business, it is just normal for you to pay back and in due time, wholeheartedly. That's why I believe that when you get a loan from the bank or you get a loan from any organization and there are durations to paying back this loan, it shouldn't be a big deal for you to pay back the loan, because when you are getting the loan, you should have your lay down plans. You should already have your plans and all of your artilleries of getting that loan. You should evaluate your profits and loss before going to the bank to actually seek for the loan. Besides, different loan houses have different interest rates and payback duration that can suit your kind of business. So why is it a problem to now pay back this interest in due time? I believe with all of these few points of ours, we were able to make you see that interest in loan is not a punishment, but an opportunity and an advantage to you, a startup and an SME. Thank you.
Hello, I'm a member of Group B and I'm Ella Brown. So my question is in two places. First of all, you, the speaker, head speaker, UK, are you Christian?
Yes.
Okay, and you pay tithes?
Yes, I do.
Okay, you know 10. My question is, if you're a Christian and you pay tithes, are you saying that tithes is not you paying back profit to God in a way? That's one. Two, lack of profits, not paying back profits. Are you saying that not paying back profits to the loaner, the person that gave you the loan, doesn't make the loanee, the person that took the money, unserious and is not a means for the person to be relaxed and uninterested in paying back that loan?
Okay. Before I answer your question, I would like to ask you a question too. If you were in a position to receive a loan with interest and one without interest, which would you pick? If you were opportune to get a loan with interest and the one without interest, which would you pick?
I'll pick the one without interest, but then you live in a real
Now,
world.
tithe is not what you get from your interest, it's what you get from your profits. You pay from the profit, not from your interest. That's question number one. What's question number two?
Oh, I said, are you saying that by giving someone loan without attaching interest to it?
Now I get that. Now, before you give someone loan, you have to look at the economic state of the nation before you give out the loan. Understand? I'm coming to your question. If the country is in a situation post COVID-19, you cannot. What we are looking at is the government working with the financial institutions to ensure that we get back our financial freedom. So we are looking at the situation at least in a period of time where we can have loans free of interest. That is what you are saying.
Government is not the only person that gives loan.
Prior to COVID-19 that you kept on repeating, the loan thing was already in existence. So I don't see why COVID-19 is even.
Your question, sir?
I'm just clarifying. Yeah. So what happens when I give you a loan without interest? So what happens in the case where there's inability to pay, or the person collecting the loan dies in the process, or in case of any of those unforeseen circumstances? What do I now do as me that's giving you the loan? What happens?
Now the loan is independent. The interest is independent. That doesn't stop you from getting your collateral from a person you are giving loan to. If you're giving me 100K of cash and you need to get a collateral that can't pay back 100,000, the interest is not what we're talking about. Is what we are concentrating about.
Does COVID-19 affect both the institutions and those?
Yes, it affected everybody. COVID-19 affected all the commercial bodies.
Okay, I am Joshman from Group A, proposing the motion. So I'm putting this question through to you.
Can I see your face, please?
Speaker.
So as to be sure who's talking to me. Yes.
Here I am.
Yeah.
Okay, so you were saying something the other time, and I quote, you said part of interest rates are being paid back to the borrowers at the expiration of the payment of their loans. Can you please expatiate on that, and can you please give me like facts, maybe one or two?
Okay, answering your question, there is this arm of the government called RUFIN. I'm sure you don't know about that. RUFIN is responsible for paying back interest rebates to all customers, 90% to farmers who are also business owners and starters. So this body is responsible for paying back interest elements, components of interest elements being paid by borrowers who pays back at exact time and not after the expiration of their loans.
Let's maintain silence and decorum. Thank you very much. My first question goes like this. I heard the opposing teams making a statement, a categorical statement that my team made a statement that giving out loan to everybody on an open platform is a very lame point. Please, I want to ask a question. A case study like Nigeria. A case study like Nigeria, where you know that there's so much lawlessness, disorder, so much I don't care attitude, very, very carefree attitude. When you keep an open loan like that and you say, anybody can access loan, you make a public announcement, you go do your publicity, whatever you want to do. Free loan. When we hear free loan, come on, let's be very, very honest with ourselves. I'm putting the question through to you.
Okay.
Is that a huge possibility that every Tom, Dick, and Harry, in as much as you as a loan company or as a loan shark must have conducted your survey on the ground, is that a possibility that some people will even try to bring a very, very fake appearance? Fake appearance, in quotes. All right? Everybody can come and just like, I need a loan because it's interest for everybody love free things, right? So my question to you is very, very simple. How do you control the crowds? Interest-free loan.
Okay.
Question 2.
Let me finish with that, please. No, let me finish with that. Let me take that. Now, it is the sole responsibility of a financial institution to be able to control and regulate who they give loan to. You have to be able to go and do your fact-finding and check. You have your collateral. You cannot give loan to somebody without a collateral. That's on you as a financial institution. You cannot come and tell me that, and let's get the understanding. It is not a free loan. You have to pay it back. Everybody will come back. Understand? You said free loan. The loan is not free. Now, without interest is a different thing. You still have to pay back the loan you got. The interest is another thing entirely. In fact, what is the advantage for you as an entrepreneur to pay the interest? It doesn't favor you. There's nothing you're telling me. If I give you a loan with no interest and give him a loan with interest, he will feel down. So if I give you a loan without interest, you'll be happy about it because you have less work to do. You have time to think. You have time to work. You have no finance to pay your workers. So what are you telling me? You're talking about crowd control? Yeah, you have your as a financial institution, it is your role. Please let me finish with her before you start talking. It is your role as a financial institution to do your fact finding. You check the person's diligence, check his track records, check.
It was really hard because during the research I discovered that, truth be told, that they had the advantage because it's idealistic for you to give somebody loan without interest. So we had more of the work to do. We had more of the research to do. Understand? But then we had our points. For instance, even you they watch now, if I give you loan, we get interest, and loan we no get interest, you will pick the one we no get interest. And they were bringing out points like how will you crowd control this, that. The bank have the responsibility of crowd control. It's none of my business. If you have to give 50 billion in loan, when you exceed that limit, you just calm down, understand? No matter how it be. At the end of the day, they brought out points, they brought out questions. I think I had a rough start. But then when I hit it and I got my pitch, I was breaking grounds and they were intimidated at the point. And I enjoyed it. And I'm very sure at the end of the day, I'm going to win. We are going to win as a group.
Go ahead. Anybody can answer from your group.
All right.
You're saying, give me a loan without interest, you will thank me. Okay, now my question is, if I lend you some money without giving you a date to pay back, how hard would you work to pay back the money?
Returning the interest, returning without interest is the issue on ground. It is not having a time frame, a term as it is called. Every loan, no financial institution will come out and give you a loan and say pay any time. They will give you a time frame. we are not cancelling out. Giving a loan without interest doesn't cancel out tenning. Understand? So there's always definitely going to be terms. As a business person, I can tell you that I've used several loan schemes, and even when I have frame, I can meet up. You know, even when there were interest in quote, I can still meet up. So it is also an advantage for me to receive it without interest.
How will you do that?
It is an advantage. It's telling me, okay, I receive 500,000 naira from you, and at the end of the day, I'm to pay back 500,000 naira. Which one will you take? Or the one that you say receive 500,000 and pay 550,000 naira in the same period of time? I will take the one without the interest. That is it. It doesn't. Not paying interest doesn't cancel out the fact that you are going to pay back the money in a duration.
Okay, you know your question.
Judges, you know, the three questions at us, three questions at me, you know, standard of living and cost of living and all that differences. But it was fine at the end of the day. Had questions here and there. We did very well at the end of the day. Kudos to UK for doing a wonderful job as the chief presenter for us. Team Melody did that thing, Evergreen also. So an amazing time. I look forward to the result and I hope we win this time. You know, good one, guys. Catch you.
Points was cost of production.
Yes.
That it increases cost of production. And then in it you said people want to have a high standard of living.
Yes.
Do you understand that?
Yes.
Okay. Can you explain?
Okay, what I mean is this. If I'm taking a loan from a company, right, I'm producing, say as a farmer for example, I need to process cassava and whatever. I'm going to factor in the interest, if there is interest on the product I'm putting, I'm going to count it as part of my cost of production of producing this particular set of cassava or leaves. And that's going to increase the price of what I'm going to sell it in the market. And if the price is high, customers, you and I, are going to buy lesser because the price is high. But if I'm buying it at a lower price, I'll be able to buy more. I can feed my family more. Instead of eating once a day, we can eat fufu in the morning, you can eat something else with cassava in the afternoon and even at night. So that's
and
increases.
people trying to have, or people that want to have a high standard of living, they are two opposite things. When you have a high standard of living, everything is on the high side.
I mean, of an individual.
Is on the high side, including school fees. The prices of food, the prices of foodstuff will go high. Everything, just like Nigeria is going now. So people, for me, I think people would prefer a low standard of living than the high one. Because when you have a low standard of living, you can afford anything you want. You can afford to go to school without doing like this to pay your fees. You can afford getting anything from the market. That's a low standard of living. It's not that you are poor. It's not that your country or your state or anywhere that has a low standard of living is poor. No, but things are affordable than where you have a high standard of living.
Let me clarify something real quick. There is high standard of living, then there's high cost of living. What you're describing is high cost of living. High standard of living depends on how well you're living. That is the standard of living.
Okay, let's go to, that's what you wanted to say. Let's take ourselves to the European countries. Let's take for France. Let's take France as an instance. You know the school fees in France. France has a very high standard of living. When other countries, let me say a few other countries have school fees for the university, they have like $3,000, they have 2.5, some have 6, some have 5, some have 7. France has as high as 22,000. Just because you want to read one course. And you know how much that is in Naira?
For a foreigner, right?
Yes.
Yes, for a foreigner. So because
even
we're from a low
citizens,
income country,
it's also high for their citizens because their standard of living, not high costs. Their standard of living is high.
So
everything is on the high side. They are okay because they can afford it.
They can afford it. So they have a high standard of living if they can afford it.
But you,
if we are taking Nigeria, if I should say universities in Nigeria, maybe I become a president tomorrow. Universities in Nigeria, please, your school fees has changed to 500,000 for one semester, not a year, for one semester. Then private schools, your school fees is
1 million naira.
How many people do you think would attend schools, even the federal ones?
Very few. Then we would have a high cost of living in Nigeria, because now less people can afford it, not a high standard. Because if most people can afford it, then it's a high standard, because we all can afford to live at that high level of high tuition fees. And let's not forget, there are other factors surrounding it too, not just the cost of the fees, or there are government policies too. There are for Nigeria, like you mentioned, there is, when it comes to high cost of food, there is the issue of banditry, which is stopping transportation on the roads, and the little ones that get to the market, the prices are increased. So that also is a factor to consider. But in this case here, we're talking about zero interest, and how most farmers depends on grants and on loans to produce more, to buy fertilizers, which are even imported. So if I'm going to buy fertilizer which is imported, and I'm still going to pay interest, definitely I'm going to factor it into the selling. And transportation too is involved. I want to transfer these things to the market. From Benin, I have to take it down to Lagos and sell, and that is going to definitely affect the price in the market. So that's what I was reading. So if you have zero interest, so now he knows that, okay, fine, I'm no more paying interest, I'm only getting profit. So definitely it's going to affect the price of this product. That's what I was saying.
The interest is going to affect the price. Okay.
Thank you.
Kizo, when you were speaking, you said something about creating, giving people roles in your company, like let people be working for you while you are just there.
Not just there.
You said let people be working for you and getting the interest. Now my question is, assuming you have a new business, would you just leave it in the hands of people to manage?
Okay, what I meant by that is this: by creating job opportunities, what I meant is, take myself for example as a lender, and I'm in the business of giving out loans to people, to business starters. Now, if definitely there's going to be default in repayment, it's very paramount in lending. Now, when there is default, most cases the lender himself or herself will not be the one to go for recovery. You have to employ the services of debt recovering team. You also have to, even during processing loan, before you give out loan, there is what we call documentation. The documentation process in most cases is not being carried out by the person, the lender, his or herself. So as long as I'm involving the services of customer service, I can process the loan processing unit, debt recovery, I am creating jobs for them. And I can only fund those departments when I collect interest on loan. So it's also a form of generating income for me, and also creating jobs for those people that are working for me.
Okay, this is what you explain.
All right, Melody.
Sir.
Are you standing or is it?
Okay.
Okay, Dear has actually said something regarding accountability based on interest. And we counterattacked it. That is it a must that if there's interest, that you have to be accountable? Can you please explain what you mean by that? Because as far as everybody is concerned, you have to be accountable for whatever thing you're doing. So
Okay.
if you could be able to expatiate on what you mean by
Okay, actually what I meant by reacting to what she said, now she said accountability only based on interest, when there is interest involved. So I was trying to make her understand that you should be accountable for the loan that is, which is the principal money that was actually given to you, not just being accountable for just the interest, because the interest is just a very small percent added to it. So nobody that is giving you loan will actually give you loan concentrating based on the interest, forgetting the main capital that he or she has given to you. So stressing the accountability on the interest, it's wrong. It should be stressed on the capital of the money, not the interest. That was why I made that statement, sir.
But what I heard her when she was saying, she was like, it makes you accountable. I think she was, generally speaking, it makes someone accountable. That's what I heard her say. I don't think she was stressing on the interest. You have to be accountable on the interest. She was makes you accountable.
She was stressing on the issue. She didn't even say, excuse me, it's a question for me, please. She did, what I had her say, even some of my group members, she was basically emphasizing on the interest, not saying anything about the capital, which is the money that you lended.
But don't you think someone cannot just be accountable on your interest when you have a profit to be made? You can't just be accountable on just your interest.
I was actually judging based on a statement, what I heard.
Well, I think she said that when you get a loan with interest and it makes you
accountable. That's what I heard.
Calm down.
If I say when you get a loan with interest, I'm not stressing.
On
the interest.
Okay, when you get a loan with interest, does that mean that when you get a loan without interest, you won't be accountable?
That's
the thing.
That is why I actually pinned it down that it shouldn't be one of the points, because it should be, you have to be accountable even if you're not getting it with interest.
But she said,
she was specifically basing on the interest. That was her point she laid out. And that was why, and that was why I noted it there while I was seated.
Our point is that without the interest that you...
I wasn't the only one that had it. If you can do a replay, I know what I'm saying. She was actually emphasizing based on the interest, and that was why I noted it, and while I was still seated. Yeah, today's task was it was actually a lovely one. I enjoyed myself. Actually, from the beginning, I was tense and all of that, but when I came out of the stage with little tension, but after everything, I was able to flow, because the truth remains that even if what you're saying is wrong, just do your best to back it up with enough points that will be able to convince and confuse your audience, of which that was what we did today. We know the truth. There is no how you get a loan without interest. It's as simple as ABC. But we were able to convince them that getting a loan without interest is the cocoa. If they like, it's their business. If they like, they shouldn't take it. Now, I enjoyed myself actually. And kudos to my chief speaker, man. I love you. I love you, UK. Like you made me proud today, sincerely speaking, from the depth of my heart, you did. I was so proud of you, like so proud of you.
It did me proud, like it really, really did well. Oga Jaffe, you man and man you be. Just gather everybody together. I had to put there, they have to like plan how to deal with. Even at the time I was like, no, we call gasket people. Based on they murdered these guys. Like even you watching this, you know the truth. If they give you loan, you don't get how a person will give you loan for this place, for this Nigeria, they made it not give you and with interest. You understand? And the debate was free loan and loan with interest. So no, we'll tackle them down in the comment section. Still bring back your own. Tell us what you think. Maybe we in the house really get it right. Maybe you out there you think otherwise. So tackle us in the comment section, both in the handles, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. Tackle us there. They will get to us and tell us, I'm happy my group won. So it's something to be happy about because we did well. So, Cheryl, thank you guys.